Hey, good to see you again. The team are now ready to start development on some new upgrades. You can review these from within the laptop. I'll speak to you later, okay?
What's up guys, and welcome back to a brand new video and a brand new episode of my F1 2017 career mode, and we are here for the Austrian Grand Prix, round number 9 of the season. And I do apologise guys for not getting an episode up yesterday, but unfortunately I had too many time restraints to be able to get the episode up for you guys. But we're back again for Austria for today's episode, and straight away you can see that speaking to Jeff, obviously, sorry not Jeff, Chris, he seems very happy and very enthusiastic about the possibility of us improving the car, and I'm actually inclined to agree with him, because we can now start developing the car. As you would have noticed in the last episode, we can now start focusing on improving the overall car's performance, and I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully this will promise very exciting things now for the remainder of the season, and we can really make this Mercedes car a dominant car like it used to be back in the day. So let's try our absolute best now, really try and crack on with the season. But as you can see, jumping straight into the Friday practice programs, getting the purple scores on the board straight away, trying to get the car set up nicely for the circuit. And the last race in Baku, we did miss it, and I do urge you to go check it out. But small little spoiler alert, we won the race, and I've got to say the car felt absolutely incredible in that race, and the car felt brilliant at Canada, but I just bottled the result. But in Baku the car felt wonderful again, and this weekend around Austria it was no different again. The car felt absolutely magnificent. It seems like this Mercedes car tends to suit these sort of higher speed tracks, and if that is the case, then I'm looking forward to tracks like Silverstone, Spa and Monza, these sort of tracks which are sort of high speed, because it's going to promise good things for us in terms of our overall performance, and the car hopefully should perform up to standard. But as you can see there, we do end up the practice session getting a purple score on every single practice session, so a very positive Friday, and a lot of positive R&D points to carry into the rest of the weekend, and overall good vibes to hopefully push us on to get a good result this weekend. And jumping into Saturday qualifying here in the Q1 session, opting for the slower super soft compound tyres, and we are going to set our best Q1 lap with these, and it's going to comfortably see us through into Q2 as we go third fastest there behind Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel. Eventually though, once the session came to an end, we would end up in P7 behind our teammate Lewis Hamilton. So a good way to kick off the qualifying here on Saturday as we now move into Q2, this time switching to the ultra soft compound tyres. And it was actually raining at the start of the session. At the early part of Q2 it was intermediates, and the track actually dried out, so I went out right at the dying embers when the track was at its driest, and to also extract maximum performance at the car. And here we go, across the line we go fastest and P1 in Q2, and that was very encouraging going into the forthcoming Q3 session there, as we do end up Q2 on top. So very encouraging signs here going into the final part of qualifying, and once again going out at the end of the session here, we're going to ride aboard for the entirety of the lap. So Vettel stands first at the moment as we now go into the first corner, down to 4th gear, possibly 5th here actually, but I like to use 4th, and you want to brake bang on the 100-meter board, and very important to get good traction at this corner, because it's a huge straight as we go flat out through 2 and then into the brake zone at turn 3 just after the 100-meter board, and sort of in between the 50 and the 100, get it down to 3rd gear. That's my preference. You can use 2nd, open up with the DRS. Important that you get good traction out of here, and traction in Austria is absolutely critical in every single major traction zone, because this track consists of just long straights and sharp corners with very important traction zones. So once again into turn 4, nice run through there, good traction, good exit speed, and now into this sort of only part of the track where there's a few fast corners into 5, and then later on into turn 6, which feeds into turn 7, a sort of swooping right-hander here. We're about a 10th down at the moment as we now go into the final sector. We've got to make up a little bit of time here, so we've got to really try and push the car through this penultimate corner here, really pushing the limits of the track as we now go into the final corner using 5th gear. The car just about within the track limits, DRS wide open and across the line, and where is the lap going to put us here for qualifying? Is going to be 1st place. So there you go, pole position for the Austrian Grand Prix. We got 2nd place last time out in Baku, and I believe we got pole in Canada, so we're in a bit of a run at the moment in qualifying, and the car working absolutely beautifully, like I said at the start of the episode. And we've hooked the car up an absolute tree around here, setting a perfect lap time, and myself and Kimi Räikkönen in an absolute league of our own here in the top 2, and then Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel on the 2nd row. Esteban Ocon best of the rest in P5 ahead of Daniel Ricciardo, and overall a pretty mixed up top 10 with Grosjean and Hulkenberg scraping in there for other teams. But overall that was the story of qualifying, and we're now going to jump into Sunday for the race for round number 9 of the season for the Austrian Grand Prix. Right, so here we are on the grid then for the Austrian Grand Prix, round number 9 of the season, starting from first place, as you would have seen in qualifying. And there's an interesting thing going into this race, and I'll show you in a moment. But first of all, I'm looking forward to the race, obviously. First place, very, very encouraging indeed. And coming off of Baku, where we got a really good result, this is very, very encouraging indeed. And it's good to see that the car is definitely progressing nicely and in the right areas. So overall, that's very, very good to see. But the more interesting thing for this race, rain is expected. And this is a bit interesting because I didn't really factor this in when I was doing my task strategy for qualifying. And if we do look at the race strategy, you'll see on screen right now, the rain is expected to come around the first third, sort of third waypoint of the race. So this could be a sort of awkward in-between period in terms of tyre wear. So we've got to keep an eye on this and see how it progresses, because this could be very awkward. So we're going to stick with the strategy that's recommended to us, but obviously keeping an eye on the weather above. In terms of fuel, I've underfueled the car by 1 lap, just because obviously the rain's going to arrive, so it's going to be an opportunity for me to save fuel without any major issues. So hopefully we can have a good race here today, and it's going to be a very, very interesting one. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it now for round number 9 for the Austrian Grand Prix. Right then, here we go on the grid. Let's try and have a good start here. We're going to get up to the 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go for Austria. Let's try, and that's a nice, good start here. Pretty good, actually, second phase. The first phase was terrible, but the second phase, very good. Hamilton goes clean around my outside here, and he's had a fantastic start from third place. And it's going to be a drag race between the 2 silver arrows down into turn 3. Here comes Raikkonen behind, also a full senior I can see in my mirrors. So we're just going to cover the inside and go up the inside of Lewis if possible to try and roadblock everybody and maintain his Mercedes 1-2. Hamilton actually gets some great traction out the corner there. Ocon goes up into third place and Raikkonen down to P4. So Raikkonen having a bit of a poor start, but Lewis Hamilton, the best of the starters there, along with Esteban Ocon, their incredible start, and Hamilton takes the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix. So right now, I'm happy for things to stay like this. The main thing is that Raikkonen, who has now re-overtaken Esteban Ocon, doesn't obviously get past myself and Lewis. So let's try and set into this race now, see what our pace is like, and also keep an eye on the skies above. Oh, safety car deployed. Sergio Perez out of the race, and he just retired a couple of corners back. So that's a very early safety car, and that's going to delay, obviously, the whole rain situation. The rain is about 15 minutes away, so the question is, do we use the safety car to come into the pit lane? I think we do. I think this is a good chance for us to pit, because we can get off these tyres and then basically drive until the wet period. So I think we're probably going to go for that strategy. So we're going to come in at the end of this lap and come in for a set of probably super soft compound tyres and drag those until the rain arrives. Right, I'm going to make my way into the pit lane nice and slowly, obviously. Watch out for the delta. I want to make sure that I don't get any penalties or anything for it. I think I'm the only guy coming in out of the top 5 or so, so we've got to keep that in mind. I've actually got to slow down here and make sure I don't break the speed delta. But there we go, into the pit lane, and that'll do. That's a very nice pit entry there. But now let's go on to the super softs and hopefully have a nice quick stop and get on our way. 2.8, that's not too bad. And onto the super soft compound tyres. And now in theory we shouldn't have to stop anymore until the rain arrives. So hopefully we can rejoin as far ahead as possible in this little train of cars, which is quite big. So I wouldn't mind joining somewhere in the middle of that and not right at the back if possible, but I think there's no choice. I think we are going to be right at the back of this sort of train of cars. So that's unfortunate, but oh well. We're going to be right at the back of the pack then, and we're going to have to cut away through the field. But like I said, strategy-wise, it makes sense for us to be on this tyre, because now when the rain arrives, we ain't going to do no more stops for dry tyres, whereas the AI probably will have to, and the window opens in about 2 laps time. So I think we've probably worked this out to perfection. Now it's a question of actually making it hopefully work, and the rain hopefully doesn't take too long to arrive. In terms of obviously other things that happen, Kvyat also retired from the race a bit earlier on, so him and Perez are the 2 cars at the Grand Prix. But here we go, we're pretty much last, so let's see how this unfolds now. Safety car's actually in this lap, so that's very early, so let's come to the restart. Right, here we go then for the restart, and we're going to get ready for the green flag. Let's try and push on here and have some good restart. Apparently the rain's now only 5 minutes away, so the weather diagnosis has changed fairly quickly in a short period of time, but even still, we've done that pit stop, so we can now focus on the racing. And here we go, Alonso making a move on Van Dorn. I'm going to pull to the inside and got the inside of both of the McLaren Hondas here, taking the inside line into turn 1. Just going to squeeze Van Dorn out on the exit. Will he have it? There we go, just about managing to pull in front, and we've got past 2 cars already. Now we've got to be very careful and wary into this brake zone to turn 3 of all the heavy braking going on by AR cars. So just going to slip up the inside of Ericsson for now and make a cautious move. We can't make any mistakes now, because if I have one little crash or anything is going to really set me back really far now. So we need to try and be careful, but also calculated with these overtakes. So we've got to pass Ericsson. Now can we get past Pascal Wehrlein? Not quite, but we should get past him fairly swiftly. Then Ricciardo, I can notice there, way down the order in P13, so he's had something go wrong this weekend. But here we go, we're still trying to fight our way through. We've got a couple of battles going up ahead on the road, which is causing this train of cars. So let's try and tactically prepare ourselves. We're getting a nice exit out of that corner here to try and pick up the slipstream on Pascal Wehrlein. Look at the run we've got here on the Saab. He's not going to come to the pit lane either, so we're just going to take the inside line and go past the 2016 Ferrari-powered Sauber. Oh, very close to Ricciardo there. Double lock-up on the front tyres, and that could have easily been a front wing gone. Like I said, referring to the mistakes earlier on. Also, Hamilton's in the pit lane, so he's the only one of the top guys to pit for now, but an early start from Lewis. Hopefully he can get going before the rain arrives and try and set some good laps. Meanwhile, this train is getting so close, but look at the speed we have in the slipstream on Daniel Ricciardo. We're going to pull to the right hand side here and go for a nice little dive into the brake zone. Can we get Carlos Sainz as well? We're just going to stick our nose in. We've got a 3 wide action up ahead here, both of the Haas cars and Lance Stroll, and Sainz is actually on the same tyres as me. So here we go. Look at the battles going up ahead, wheel banging between 3 cars. Stroll trying to make it 3 wide here, no room though, and we're just going to slide up the inside of everybody here, make it 3 wide into the brake zone. Very risky move, but we're going to go for it. Palmer is giving me a good old squeeze. We're going to switch to the inside line for the next corner because he's going to be slowed up by the Haas cars under braking. And there we go, we've made the move on Jolyon Palmer. Now up the inside of Romain Grosjean, who has front wing damage, I can just see, so we're going to slip past him, and there we go, up into 8th place. Now Kevin Magnussen is going to be the one who's up next. The question is, will anyone in the top 5 pit? I don't think they are, so they are staying up for a little bit longer here from what I can see. So this is going to be very interesting. But here we go, on the back of Kevin Magnussen now. Can we get enough of a slipstream to go for a dive into the first corner? I'm a little bit far back, but on fresh tyres, this should be a fairly simple move up the inside. And there we go, squeeze him out and job done up into 7th place. So making very light work of these guys on these fresh tyres now. Okay, DRS re-enabled here, and I'm all over the back of Nico Hulkenberg. So fast on this tyre. And there we go, up the inside now, side by side with Nico. And it should be a fairly simple move into turn 1. We do actually lock on a little bit there by accident, but I do make the move there quite comfortably. And up next is Felipe Massa, also on super soft compound tyres. Right, here we go at the final corner now, on the back of Felipe Massa. DRS wide open. He'll have a little bit more straight line speed than Hulkenberg, but we're going to commit to the move anyway and go for the inside line into turn 1. He's going to give me a good old tight squeeze onto the apex, but there we go. We're past Felipe Massa now, and we can continue on our way up into 4th place now. But interestingly enough, Raikkonen and Vettel, I think it's Ocon up there in 2nd. Still not pitting, which is quite interesting, but either way, we are pretty close on track, and I think my pace is better than theirs anyway, so we've got a bit of time before the rain arrives, so let's try and push on now with this clean air and try and catch them. Okay, I don't think Raikkonen can push his tyres anymore. It's just started to rain on track, and Raikkonen is coming for another set of dry compound tyres. You couldn't script this, but Raikkonen couldn't make those tyres last. To be fair, on the initial strategy screen, it said no more than lap 10. Lap 10 was like the max, maybe lap 11, so I can see why. And also Vettel and Ocon are forced out to dry here for another lap on Ultras, and they're going to be struggling by the end of this lap. Now the question is, how quick is the rain going to come down, and will they pit for dry tyres, or will they go straight for inters? Because if they do, they're going to be right back in this race. Meanwhile though, I've technically retaken the net race lead if Vettel and Ocon do pit for another set of dry tyres. Okay, so Seb pits and follows Raikkonen. Ocon stays out, so Ocon could be on the winning strategy here and going for the straight over to inters. His tyres must be really struggling, but then again, I know that Force India very well. We did a lot of work in the tyre wear department last season, so Ocon's probably done the right thing here by staying out thanks to that very good tyre wear in the Force India, but this lap is definitely going to be the one where we come in for inters, I think. Right, here we go then into the pit lane, and I think Ocon's coming in as well, so he might have just pulled a worldy strategy call and going for the no stop straight to inters, which I think is probably the best thing to do. So here we go into the pit lane, get it all slowed down, hit our marks, but will Ocon go straight onto intermediates? The answer is yes. So Ocon has absolutely pulled a blinding strategy, and he's going to be in the net race lead, which is absolutely incredible. Felipe Massa also on super softs pulling off an absolute worldie of a strategy call, but let's see how this all unfolds right now. There's Sebastian Vettel staying out for one more lap on dry tyres because Raikkonen's in the pit lane, so Vettel's got hung out to dry by his team. So there you go, DRS disabled, pretty much confirmation that it is now intermediate time. So this is going to get very, very interesting now, and let's see how everything else shuffles out in this remaining part of the race. Hamilton back in again, so Hamilton already on his 3rd stop of the race. He's going to be way down the order because of a terrible strategy. So Hamilton's going to be in trouble here, but Let's see if we can get some points back for the team and try and win this race. Ocon leads, or is in a net race here, should we say. So let's see if we can try and hunt him down. Right, Seb pits in off of those dry compound tyres. And now it's Ocon first, myself second. Let's see if we can try and hunt down my former teammate. Right, so small little sit rep. Heavy rain to arrive in about 5 minutes time. So we might be switching over to the full wets pretty damn soon. Also, meanwhile, I am catching Esteban Ocon pretty quickly here. His pace is actually pretty good, to be fair. So I'm not catching him as fast as I would have liked, but I reckon I should be able to get past him before the full wet switch over. If not, then we can try and pull off a strategy madness and try and get past him. But so far it's going pretty well. Like I said, we've got no major competitors around us, so I'm more than happy to finish in P2. But obviously I want to try and go for that race win. So we're going to chase down Ocon, but like I said, we ain't going to take any unnecessary risks, and we're going to run it at our own pace. And also there's a chance it might dry at the end of the race. So if that is the case, who knows, maybe the full west may never be necessary. We can sort of survive the period on intermediates. Right, Kimi Räikkönen has now appeared in 3rd place, so he is on the hunt and he's chasing me down. He's 12.8 behind me, so we've got a fairly comfortable gap and he won't be a threat for a little while. That's even if he catches me. And meanwhile, I'm catching Ocon. The gap is only coming down slowly now, but I am still catching the gap down to 2 seconds. Bit by bit, we are chipping away at his lead. Okay, so the team did tell me to come in that lap for full wet, but I still feel like the intermediate's got a bit to offer here. The tyre still feels good. And as long as I'm catching Ocon here, I don't think there's any reason for me to come in. So we're just going to stick it out, and then when Ocon comes in, then we'll respond, and we'll try and maybe beat him in the pit stop battle. But for now, we're faster than him, and also Räikkönen isn't that much faster than me. So we've got the gap to be able to just sort of play it safe and just keep on catching Ocon here. Also, it sounds like it is now full wet conditions, and it does look like it's full wet conditions. Apparently, the conditions will improve in 10 minutes time. So this is going to be very close, but I'm pretty much almost leaning towards staying out in the intermediate and fighting through these heavy wet conditions. And right, here we go then, very close to Esteban Ocon now. The move's going to be hopefully lined up fairly soon. We're going to try and get a good run into turn 1. The track is getting very wet now and very slippery, so we've got to be very careful with the conditions, but it's definitely coming down pretty heavy now. But here we go, we've had a great exit out of turn 1, and we're right on the slippery with Esteban Ocon this lap here. We're going to pull to the inside. Ocon sort of debates whether to go defensive or not. I'm going to opt for the outside line as Ocon sort of hesitates, and I'm just going to try and hang. He's going to give me a good old squeeze, a little bit of contact there, and I lose the back end on the exit there. But I'm just going to put my foot down and try and get the power down. And there we go, we've taken 1st place, and we're now ahead of Esteban Ocon. So that's just a bit of a scruffy exit overall, but I just had to get the power down and just basically put my foot through it and try and force my way ahead of him. And there we go, we've made the move and we're into 1st place now. So now the question is, does Räikkönen have any pace? Can he respond? I was faster than him last lap, so let's see how this all unravels. But right now it's definitely full wet conditions, so we've got to try and survive Austria on these inters. Right, Ocon comes into the pit lane, which is quite interesting. So the question is he going to come in for another set of intermediates, or is he coming in for a set of full wets? Because that would be interesting to see what the AI do. And it looks like he's sticking on the intermediates by the look of it and sticking with those tyres. So interesting strategy there from Esteban Ocon. So we'll keep an eye on it and see how it develops. But this could be very interesting now for the rest of the race, because also strategy wise I might have to come in for instance as well to respond to that and also get to the end of the race, because these are going to be pretty close for wear by the time the end of the race comes around. So we'll see how that bomb pans out, as we've got a yellow flag up ahead here and someone's going slowly, and it's a safety car deployed, a second one of the race, and Grosjean out of the race on the right hand side there. So we're going to use this now to come in for intermediates without a doubt. So we're going to come in this lap and basically get a fresh set of boots on the car and hopefully get those to the end, no problem. Right, into the pit lane here, no need to rush, just go take it nice and easy. We're going to serve our final stop of the race, make sure we don't speed, because obviously that will result in a penalty. And there we go, pretty good entry. Now just got to coast the car in and job done. So we've got, I think Lewis just came into the pit lane, so the pit mechanic's going to be held up a little bit here, which isn't ideal, but it's going to be a majorly slow stop. 3.8, I can afford to lose a bit of time there. But there's Räikkönen, he's going to go by, so he's not coming in for a fresh set of inters. I am. The question is obviously Ocon. I don't think he'll be anywhere near me because obviously he pit last lap, but because of the safety car, it's going to benefit me massively. So we're going to rejoin in a net P2 on fresh inters, and the track's only going to dry out from now until the end of the Grand Prix. So Räikkönen's going to be in the back foot in terms of tyre strategy. So this has worked out pretty nicely for us now. So all we've got to do now is get on the back of Räikkönen, wait for the safety car to come in and enjoy this final stint. Right, here we go then for the restart. Räikkönen's going to lead the way. We're on fresh intermediates, as is Esteban Ocon. So this is going to be a very interesting restart. Kimi's on older inters, so let's see how this gets underway here, and let's see what our paces are. The rain is now officially going to be entering now the light rain period again. So the worst of the rain has gone by, so now it's going to be full on attack mode until the end of the race. And let's see what we can do. I've had a poor restart, poor exit out the final corner here. And that's going to allow Ocon to actually get a run into turn 1 here. I'm having a few screen freezes, so I'm just going to let Ocon make the move. I'm going to switch back underneath and make a lovely little move here. I'm going to use the rich mix now to try and set the pace, set the tone, and pull away from Ocon, because we need to go after Kimi Räikkönen, who's had an incredible restart here. So let's try and settle into this race again here and chase after the Iceman. We've only got a few laps to do this, so we've got to try and be perfect. Oh, I think Raikkonen's coming to the pit lane. I think he's had enough of those intermediates. I think he can't make it to the end. I think Ferrari might have realised, and they're going to have to change his strategy. So Raikkonen in the pit lane, so that's going to promote me into the race here. Kimi Räikkönen is going to drop a huge amount of positions, and he's not the only person coming in this lap. So it looks like a lot of people might have got that strategy called wrong, but Raikkonen has dropped massively through the field, and that's going to open it up for me right now in terms of this race. And I'm going to take the race lead. The question is, can we hold on for the race win? I think I can. I'm going to push really hard now to try and pull away. I'm not going to need the rich mix anymore, because obviously Raikkonen is no longer a threat, so we can just take it easy with standard mix, but also push hard and get this car to the checker flag in first place. Right then, here we go through the final couple of corners for the final time this race, and we've been absolutely unfazed, and it's been a very good race. Strategy absolutely perfect, and it's all worked out beautifully for us. Just keeping it in sync gear to try and get the gearbox wear down. But here we go across the line to win the Austrian Grand Prix. What a win from start to finish in first place. Overall, a very enjoyable race, and a very, very good one at that. And a few small panic moments, but overall, we deserved the race win, and we led for most of the race. So, overall, we got what we deserved, and that was first place and 25 points. And as you can see on the podium there, it's going to be Esteban Ocon and Sebastian Vettel with me. So a very mixed up podium, but forcing them once again getting another podium there with one of their cars, which is very, very impressive indeed. Since I left the team, they're still doing a very good job, and Sebastian Vettel pulls one back for Ferrari there. But overall, very interesting race, and I'm actually curious to see where Raikkonen finished and also where Lewis Hamilton finished. So we're now going to jump in to see the final race results, drivers and constructors standing, to see exactly how everything shapes up after that very, very hectic race. Right, so looking at the final race results, I win the Austrian Grand Prix ahead of Esteban Ocon and Sebastian Vettel. Felipe Massa gets a brilliant 4th place, and also Kevin Magnussen, also a brilliant 5th place. Daniel Ricciardo from P16 on the grid up to 6th place, and Carlos Sainz in P7, also a very good result for him. A lot of guys recovering through the field. Lewis Hamilton, after doing 4 stops today, gets P8. Incredible stuff from him there. Fair play to him. And also Verstappen and Nico Hülkenberg round out the points. In terms of going further down the order, Kimi Räikkönen only manages P12 with that very, very late pit stop. And further down the order still, Daniel Kvyat, Sergio Perez and Romain Grosjean all retire from the race. In terms of the driver standings though, after that race, you can see that we extend our lead to 39 points over Kimi Räikkönen, and Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton only split by 4 points. So basically, we've made a massive, massive statement in the World Drivers' Championship title race, and we've really pulled away this weekend, and that's a massive statement of intent for the championship. In terms of the constructors though, we do actually get a huge points boost over Ferrari thanks to me, and also Hamilton getting points as well, and we pull our gap to 35 points over the Prancing horses. So a very good weekend for us as a team, but we are now going to move into the laptop and possibly purchase our first competitive upgrade of the season. Right, so jumping on to the R&D screen, as you can see right now, we are going to purchase a chassis upgrade, more specifically an upgrade for the tyre blankets to improve tyre wear, because I feel like this car needs to improve on tyre wear. A lot of you guys in the comments have been saying that this car needs to be improved in the tyre wear situation, so that's what we're going to do, and we're going to try and improve this. So hopefully this will arrive for the next race if we're lucky, but hopefully that should resolve our tyre wear issues, and then after that we can then start focusing on raw performance. And to be fair, even though I want to get performance upgrades, we might have to get a few of these ones here, which are the department efficiency ones, to make the upgrades a little bit more cheaper, because right now they are very expensive as they are, so I wouldn't mind making them a bit cheaper, so it's more worthwhile in the long run, as I will be in this team for a little while. But in terms of that, guys, that's going to wrap things up for the upgrades for this episode. If you have enjoyed the episode, then please do slap a like on the video. Also subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and also do check out the videos on screen right now if you have missed them. And also finally check out GT Omega in the links down below in the description, and use the code TOM87 for 45% off at checkout for a cheeky little discount. But other than that, guys, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.